Two questions I have about the Central Club podcast with Ayub Qasim and the J. Slater case. In general, I have just the two questions for now. We'll go on that for now for this video, otherwise it will be far too long. So, Ayub Qasim, he left the Airbnb, or was it the other secret accommodation that he rented, very quickly in the case, after the case, when Jay went missing, when there was all the commotion. He left in a hurry. He left his clothes. Was it at the Airbnb he left his clothes, or somewhere else? What clothes? How many clothes? Was it just one garment that you forgot, and it was an expensive garment because you went back, didn't you? Also, another question, but firstly, come on in first. Step on closer. And welcome to Aldon's Reviews and True Crime. Let's just get rid of the reflections. Let's just twist this one around a little bit more. Is that a bit better? Yeah. Okay, so this will be the last video. I should be doing a Christmas video tomorrow, and hopefully I will. That'll be Christmas Day. So I'll do like an additive or an alternative Christmas speech. I have done those in the past. They only receive like 10 views because it doesn't involve any cases or anything. It mainly is just a message to all the people out there that do watch, or a few people, or whoever. I don't care, but 10 people, that's okay. 10 viewers, if it does reach 10 viewers, but that's fine. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, maybe a bit more light-hearted. There's been a lot of commotion, and it's not in my nature to kind of get too involved in the to's and fro's at the moment. We all have our part to play, really, but I'll go into that perhaps in a nice way tomorrow for you. I'm not much of a Christmassy person, so the speech maybe won't revolve around Christmas, because remember, the good feelings should last all year round. I digress. Again, seems to be my catchphrase. Ayub, he disappeared in a hurry. Did he leave? If he left one garment there, it must have been really, really expensive, because he went back, didn't he, to get it? You wouldn't bother, would you? So my feelings are, my thoughts are, he left a lot of garments there, which means he really did leave in a panic. In thought, don't blame him. I'm just trying to think, even if I was innocent, if the Guardia or the press or creators, viewers were all suspicious and they're all pointing the finger at me and I was over there, I'd think, oh, I want justice over here rather than over there. I don't want to be in one of those Spanish jails. I don't know whether the Tenerife jails are the same as the old-fashioned ones that were on the mainland, but some of them were very ropey, very rough. Regulations not quite the same as in Britain, so I can see why he wanted to scarper very quickly. Or Ayub, did you have a guilty conscience? I don't know. Is that why you scarpered? I don't want to make things up or invent things, and if I do step out of line, I will hastily apologize. Another thoughts on my mind about the podcast, not my material, the podcast created the material, thank you for that. Wish I could lay claim to that, but the information that came out, and we've all been, well, I wouldn't say I have, but other creators have been bashing it to death in a really clever way. We're ready for more information from anyone else, or podcasts, interviews from anyone else, and I'll watch anybody's, and I'll put views on it. I'll watch it 3 or 4 times, like the other creators, viewers. I'll watch it and I'll create good revenue for that person as well, as because it's good. It's really good. It brings out things. Another thing that was brought out from that podcast is Ayub said that he went to the Guardia and he wanted to give a witness statement, or he was asked to do a witness statement. I don't know whether this was before Mark Williams Thomas interviewed him. After or before, I don't know. Maybe Mark Williams Thomas suggested he should go and make a statement just to clear things with the Guardia. And he presented himself, Ayub Qasim, and they said, yes, who are you? What do you want? Crazy. Incompetent. He said, I'm here to be a witness. And they said, oh, well, what are you reporting? What are you saying? And he said, well, I'm here to report the missing person, Jay. And they said, oh, yeah, we know all about that. Don't worry. Goodbye. That's a key witness. A key witness, the last person to see Jay. So he had to make some sort of statement. They were just totally incompetent. I guess he persevered and he stayed there and he said, no, I want to make a statement. I want to make one to clear my name. So how could they be that incompetent? Very nice people, some of them, the Guardia, with families and very nice dadly sort of sheriff type villas, shall I say, like in the States, they carry a gun around in their holsters and go around and everyone knows them. But in this case, it just goes to prove how incompetent they are. So if they're that incompetent, they don't know the name of a key witness, we all would do, and all the press would, all the creators would have at the time. They didn't. Couldn't put two and two together. So if they're that incompetent, maybe they were that incompetent in the whole case. The search, not using the dogs, not using the right dog, not searching the Airbnb. There was talk of forensic team, do you remember, with the Socko team with the covers on their feet. Unless they were doing something else, unless they were just showing somebody around or something, selling the property, although I don't know, was wearing those things on their feet or something, they're coming out like forensic team. Can anyone go back? I never covered it. Anyone go back and find out who said that, who saw the forensic team or people that look like forensics coming out? Or were they decorators? Because there's saying that it was decorated and the step was cleaned, a little bit of blood, specks of blood cleaned up the step. Don't quote me on that, but that's just hearsay, isn't it? It's not 100%, nowhere near. But who said they were a forensic team? Back to the incompetence of the Guardia. Totally incompetent. Can you imagine that over here? Probably does happen over here as well. A key witness, somebody went missing, and you went to see the police over here, and you went into the station and said, oh yeah, don't worry about it, that's been reported, Mr. So-and-so. Oh yeah, we'll take your name, yeah, that's your name, that's you. And then you happen to say, no, I was the last person who saw him, I took him up to the Airbnb, and I just want to, clear my name. Oh, no, go, don't worry about it, we don't want any trouble, do we really? No hassle. Nothing to see here. I just find that really crazy. And I'm taking that 100%, but it's because it came from Ayub within his best interests at heart, that he went to the Civil to clear his name, the Guardia Civil. Where the Guardia Civil, the Guardia, there is a slight difference, but I just find that crazy. It's obvious he left in a hurry, but it's also obvious that he wanted to go back. So Ayub, why did you want to go back so desperate? If it's one garment, you wouldn't. Unless that garment was worth thousands upon thousands. I can't think of a garment, even a designer garment, that is. So if it was a number of garments, what was it, a whole suitcase full? You left a whole suitcase of clothes there? What's the value? It'd be interesting to know what the value was to whether you'd go back, because you're going to spend, I'm just going to take a guess, plane ticket. When I bought different tickets, I know there are different prices for going out and coming back. £200, £300. You wanted to spend that much in order to get £200 worth of clothes back again? doesn't make sense. As I say, unless they're all designer clothes. I don't know. What clothes were you pictured wearing? How much were they wear each garment? How many did you leave? Was it shoes as well you left there? Just don't know. Unless it was watches that you left there, or watch, or something else. Was it something else? Did you have something somewhere else that you left? Another place or a friend's place? Did you have some goods that you had to, do you know what I mean? Goods that you had to clear, take back, or do what you need to do with them? I'm just wondering why. If you left in a hurry, why would you be in a hurry to go back, especially when the heat's on you? With the Guardia, perhaps Interpol, I'd be a bit paranoid, so I'd disappear and I think, oh geez, Interpol going to be into me if I go back over there. The police definitely over there, they're going to get wiser because they must have watched YouTube. It is universal, so they must have watched it and picked up on everybody saying my name and Rocky and me hiding information. And you have hid information, you know, because I would do the same. Probably, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't in this case because a boy died, but you didn't want to be an inform on Brandon being there, or this other person, the Liverpool chap, that person being there, you didn't want to inform on him. I wouldn't, but I would in that case. But do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to be seen as an informer. He wasn't. He wanted to respect the privacy of that person, so he kept it secret. So why did you go back there? Because you knew they would probably question you on that. Because all the internet creators were and viewers were. That bit sticks in with me. Those two pieces of information he left in a hurry, and the Guardia being totally incompetent when interviewing him, trying to interview him, they weren't interested. It just seems strange. And there were reports that Lucy's apartment got raided. Is that true? If they're that incompetent, surely that can't be true. Surely her apartment was left safe and secure. And it sounded like, because they didn't, if you're interviewing someone as a key witness, the phone data is, those are the first things from everybody, especially as all the creators on YouTube that you were watching and the press were watching were saying that the times were rubbish. The percentage on the phone, 1%, wasn't so. He couldn't have made those calls. On the original screenshot that somebody put up, Lucy or Brad or whatever, it said more than the 1% and it was charging at the time. Surely, if you wanted to interview someone as a witness, you check the data of everybody's phone, everybody connected, everybody in that car with you, Ayub. That was LK because we saw that. Rocky, who picked you up. You were hiding your face like that as a joke or whatever it was. I don't know, some sort of strange gang sign or I don't know, 30-year-old acting 18. And then the other guy who was in the sunroof, who we don't know. You would look at the data. If not take their phones, look at all the data on their phones. It would tell you so much. And the date, time stamps, everything. We now know Warren has said that was Jay's voice getting out of the car, but there is why. You said there was a video of Jay in the car. You never showed that because you were protecting this other guy. Fair enough, you were protecting this other person. Female, it might be female, male. We're all saying Brandon. So that must have showed him in the shot with Jay. We also just need to look at the data of that phone to find out when that video was shot, whether it was on the fateful morning or the morning before, night before. That's all we need to know at this moment on that video. And also, was there a third person with you there? Simple questions that could have been picked up and still can be picked up on the data of that phone. I don't know how long the data floats around. I'm not techie, but the data, doesn't it float around on the cloud? Is it the cloud? Wherever? I don't know. Totally out of sync. Does it float? How long does it float around for? Forever? So if I committed a crime 10 years ago on one of my old block phones, is the data still there somewhere that the experts can check where I was, what time and date stamp? Is it still there? Or does after 5 years it floats off somewhere? I don't know. It'd be frightening, because remember, people get complained about 20 years later, don't they, in some cases where witnesses come forward and complain about certain sex cases, sex crime, then they can go back and look into it. So whether this one will crop up later on, I don't know. But I also wanted to touch briefly on people's strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, I don't know really what my strengths and weaknesses are. Some people's strengths don't lie on intricate research, because things that they get wrong they report as gospel, and they don't want to back down with me. I make mistakes and I'll own up. I think one thing I could probably give you through certain experiences, a psychological profile of a killer. That's pretty wide range. That's a wide range subject. Probably have to talk about that in another video. I wouldn't say qualified to give you a psychological profile. If you want to go and get data from a scientist, and he will give you a psychological profile of a killer in a particular case. But there are different types of killer. So I can give you a view on a profile. So there are legal killers who kill people in a certain sector's opinion. They are justified, they're justifiable, defending the country. We'll say in military terms, they're killing people because the people they're killing are evil and they're good. Very basic. But that's an opinion, isn't it, really? But because the government hold that opinion, they can stand behind the law and the laws of killing a particular person. We've also got non-legal, can we say evil killers around? This would be perhaps the person that may have killed somebody in many of the cases that we talk about. I would say including Jay, but we don't know, do we? But we're just speculating if it was a murder. Then the psychological profile of this killer would be different in that killers, there's premeditated and meditated. There's manslaughter. In premeditated murder, planned murder, or unplanned murder that's perhaps instantaneous. So them type of people, normally the first thing that is missing from their brain is something that is missing from people with dementia. That goes. It's like an empathy gland. It's normally in the frontal lobe. A little piece of brain or brain information is missing. So they don't have sympathy or empathy for someone. So they can kill someone. They wouldn't have the same feeling of guilt as we would. It wouldn't rack their brains with right and wrongs. It wouldn't compute. They would just get some sort of emotional, sometimes pleasurable response from killing somebody. If you questioned them, you interrogated this person, they'd be happy and they'd be rather pleased with their work. And when you point this out, they'd be rather proud of what they did. They'd also be making justifications within their mind of why they did it. And they can see in their mind, whatever you say to them, in their mind, they wanted to do it and it was justified. Some people won't kind of know why they did it. They'd do it, but they won't have any guilt feelings. So there's a certain mindset. It's like a certain mindset of an assassin or a killer that kills for money, shall we say. Normally for money. So we have a hitman. Some hitmen you can kind of respect in a way because you feel that they're ridding the world of somebody who's evil. So they dehumanize their mind. into shooting that person, and then it's justifiable. Other assassins, they're kind of not choosy. They will slot anybody. Some of them don't even want to know the reason why they're assassinating the person. They just take the money. Those type of killers, I don't really like much. I have certain respect for some assassins. So we've had many of them. Many of them you wouldn't know because they're so good that they're not going to be known and they're not going to be cool. These type of people you just feel are kind of semi-justified in getting rid of this evil person, and they get paid. The job is done. In their line of work they can make mistakes and they will know that they've made it. And if they do have this sympathy and empathy gland in the front lobal area, then they're going to feel bad and they've got to deal with that, with the guilt of killing somebody who, say, was a mistaken identity. We already discussed mistaken identities, and I was slated for it a bit, but just in my opinion, in a lot of cases, and certainly in this case, there were at least 3 people, as I say, that looked like each other. I won't digress again. It's time to move on. So hopefully I like to feel to tomorrow's speech. That's if I make it in time, but because I am doing other things, as you probably are, you good people. And just enjoy the day, enjoy the evening, and remember, don't have any nasty dreams. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're getting better material all the time, hopefully. And we're also, I hope to be getting into cases in more detail. So I'm going to be sourcing further information and further people. I'll try to make sure it's 100%, but it may come out as 95%. Then I'll just let you know that it's 95%. We can brainstorm it if it's 80%. I can come out with it and we can brainstorm it, and I won't say that it's gospel. And I do apologise if I have said anything in the past about any of the cases that hasn't been 100% sourced, but I will recognise that in a way of coming across and saying, come on guys, let's just brainstorm this, let's brainstorm it. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.